TJD podcast. Here we're going to be mixing it up today. We're going to take a break from college football and the NFL. We're going to talk about the Major League and the playoffs that they just started yesterday. So there was a four-game slate yesterday: Tigers, Astros, Royals, Orioles, Mets, Brewers, and the Braves and Padres. So we're going to just kind of break down each game and just go and see what the different awards and which players stand out in each game.
You want to start us off, or you want me to start us off?
Yeah, we can just go each game. We have first game today and yesterday was the Tigers and Astros. Tigers kind of took it to the Astros early, 3-1.
Yeah, they looked really good yesterday. The Tigers are a sleeper in the postseason. They've been on a stretch at the end of the season, which it's all about getting hot at the right time.
Yeah, I think going after the All-Star break, they had a less than 1% chance of making the playoffs. And AJ Hinch just was able to put that combination together and get the team into a position to make the playoffs. And I think Tarek Skubal, the Triple Crown winner for the Tigers, has honestly been a big boost for that team.
Oh yeah, going out there and having that number one, yeah. You can't replicate what he's doing right now. He's dominating, especially when his fastball is 98 to 100, just casual, and then has a nasty changeup. It's just he was sorting some guys yesterday.
I don't. Dude did another masterful performance. Went 6 innings, 4 hits, no runs, 6 punchouts, 1 walk. I mean, you can't really ask for a better start.
Yeah, especially since with the Astros team that they usually show up in the postseason. That's when they really start to find their groove. Even though I'm not an Astros fan whatsoever, but you can't deny what they're doing. It's kind of crazy.
You know, from I guess stats wise, Framber Valdez continues to struggle in the postseason. I think that's his fourth start. I think he's only completed 16 innings in 4 starts. So he struggles, giving up 7 hits on 3 runs.
Yeah.
So definitely not putting the Astros in a good position.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, maybe eventually he'll figure it out, but who knows? You think, speaking of the Astros, you think good old Justin Verlander, if they make it past this, you think he'll pitch at all?
I'd be shocked if he did not make him an appearance.
How many? Okay, if you had to say how many times you think he'll make an appearance in the postseason, if they make it past this round, because they are in the whole 1-0 right, or 0-1 right now.
If they can make it past this round, we could probably see Verlander 3 or 4 times.
I would say I was gonna say at least 2 to 3, just because I mean he has been. I'm not gonna say he's terrible, because he's not, but he has been struggling. But
Yeah,
that's
but
also
I mean he's still a veteran pitcher.
yeah, he'll figure it out. He'll get his innings in the postseason. And you just cannot not throw Justin Verlander.
Yeah. And what I don't know if you saw the game at all yesterday. The thing that I noticed about Detroit, everybody's enamored with the long ball and everything, but I think Detroit through the first 6 or 7 innings, they had 8 hits,
Yeah.
and all of those 8 hits were opposite field. They didn't pull a single ball for a hit.
Yeah. And one thing that I noticed when I was watching the game is that they were talking. They asked Kerry Carpenter about like his role, and does he think that he should start every game or whatever. And he said that yeah, I would love to start every game, but everybody on this team knows their role, and that's a good postseason team. If everybody going into it knows that, okay, I might not start every game, but at some point my name will be called and I need to do my job whenever it comes down to it. That's a recipe for a good team right there.
Oh yeah, and AJ Hinch has put his pitching staff in pivotal, stressful games. And so I think he did that very strategically because now he's got those guys into that mindset. Okay, I've been in that situation already, so I can go do it again and succeed. So I think AJ Hinch has definitely got the Tigers in a really good situation here.
Yeah, and another thing too that if you watch when I was watching yesterday, it wasn't like AJ Hinch was just leaving his bullpen guys out there. Like if there was a situation where like okay, like this is going to be like we need to go to the bullpen right here for this matchup, he was not afraid to go. Like it was fun to watch, especially the Tigers are young, so watching their young guys go out there and actually perform was pretty impressive.
Yep.
And
Yeah, because
it was
Scooble, Vest, I think Vest looked the best out of the bullpen.
yeah,
Like he faced 5 batters, 4 strikeouts. Like you can't ask for a better.
That's yeah. Excuse me.
But
It was definitely fun to watch, and that's not the only game that was fun to watch either yesterday. But back to Scooble, he with the winning the Triple Crown, that's like, that's impressive, especially like because the past couple of years, like Tigers really haven't been the team that everybody's looking at and is excited to see play, and like he had 18 wins. Led the league with 228 strikeouts with a 2.39 ERA. Like that's impressive. And like when I saw something when I was watching is that they were talking about how like what kind of pitchers would be the best that would turn out to be the best for that organization, and he's always been thought of as that he's going to be the best pitcher for that team, and obviously it's showing now. And in the past couple seasons, it's not like he's been terrible either. Like he's been that guy for them that you can tell that he's still developing and still growing as a pitcher, and he's turned out to be really, really good.
well, there was a lot of talk that the Tigers were going to trade him at the All-Star break. So like they limited him one start because they thought he was going to go to the Dodgers. And so I don't know. I feel like he's definitely a guy the Tigers can grow around.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, so let's talk about the Royals. Orioles. That was a very low-scoring game. 1-0. Not a lot of offense. Both pitching duel. And so, what are your thoughts on that one?
Do what? I'm sorry.
The Orioles and Royals.
That was a very, very good, very, very good pitching duel. Corbin Burns went out there and threw 8 solid innings. And shout out to Dylan for texting me. He went out there through 8 innings. The only run that was scored was off of the one walk to Michael Garcia. He ended up walking him. He stole second base, and then Bobby Witt got the RBI single that scored his lone run. And it was very fun to watch. Even though there wasn't really much action going on.
Whoa.
A little technical difficulty on Jacob's end over there. But yeah, it was very fun to watch. Cole Reagans did really good, and then the Royals bullpen came in and really slammed the door on the Orioles team that we've come to know that can be very explosive at any second in the game, which was it was fun to watch. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, Corbin Burns definitely was able to figure some things out. Obviously, what is going on?
A little technical difficulty over there. Oh man, you can definitely tell that we're getting used to doing this.
All right, is that better?
Yeah, that is.
Okay. Yeah, no, I just think Corbin Burns was able to control the game a little bit. It's just he didn't really get offensive help, and so it's at the end of the day, you just kind of need a little help there.
Yeah, yeah. The Orioles played good. They just needed that one timely hit, and it just seemed that it just never came. I mean, at the end of the game, you had Westberg who had that single up the middle, but they couldn't capitalize on it. And when you especially late in the game, that's when you really got to have those guys that come in and when they when you got to have those guys that are just like, okay, I know what I need to do here, and it. But props to the bullpen for the Royals. It was just they did an excellent job with shutting down the Orioles yesterday. So
Yeah,
I think I had something pulled up for that.
yeah. I mean, Ora's offense really went quiet. 10 strikeouts isn't really going to do much offensively, and you scatter 5 hits.
Yeah,
So I mean, it's just not really much you can do about that.
and especially holding the Orioles to no runs. That's impressive, especially in postseason play. But
Yeah,
the Orioles, what are they like 0-9 in postseason play?
they haven't been doing well, that's for sure.
Yeah, so they're 0-9 dating back to whenever it was, but like they haven't won a single postseason game, which is you know
Yeah, it's definitely not
it's
a.
hard. That's hard to overcome. But I mean, you had Cedric Mullins who had a good day yesterday, I think that was the first time in his postseason career that he I think even got a hit is what they were saying, but and then he went. I think he was 2 for 3, 2 for 4, something like that.
Yep.
3 for 4, something like that. He did. He had a good game.
Shoot, another team that's struggling in the postseason is the Brewers. They can't figure it out.
Which being a Cubs fan, that's good for me because I'm not a Brewers guy, So, but yeah, like back to your point, when the 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 final score of that game was 8-4, and the Mets they went five 2-out runs against the Brewers bullpen.
Yeah,
You can't give up five 2-out runs to the Mets are arguably the hottest team in baseball at this point, and
yeah.
you can't go out there and expect to give up that many 2-out runs. Like you can't do that and think that you're going to go and win this game. Like that's not good. That's not a good stat line. And then yeah, like the Mets went 5 for 7 with runners in scoring position yesterday. Like that's just that's good for them, but you got to be able to limit those.
I mean, at this point, the Brewers need to get out of their own way. They need to be able to score more than 2 or 3 runs because the last 3 years or 4 years now, they have lost the series after leading the first game by 2 runs.
Ouch. Yeah.
I don't know why that's a thing for them. It might be just kind of some hump they need to get over. But you're up to nothing in the postseason. That should be okay. That's a momentum builder. Let's keep going. Them, it's just like, all right, we got to win a shootout.
Yeah, especially when the Mets had Luis Severino throwing. Like he's been good, and when you take a lead on him like that, you gotta be able to capitalize, and you can't go back to what you said and excuse me. You got to be able to capitalize on that. You can't let that lead slip away. And props to the Mets though, but you can't let that slip.
Yeah. but hopefully they can turn it around today. Game 2.
Yeah, the Mets got Sean Manaea going today, so that'll be. And then the Brewers have Frankie Montes going, so that should be a good game. Um, we'll see how that goes. We'll get into the upcoming games later, but
Yeah, and then the Braves, man, they just can't seem to keep the player healthy. Chris Sale was the other Triple Crown winner for the NL, and their first playoff game, man, he's already down. Back injury.
it was back spasms. But like we've all been there. But that's the moment where you kind of obviously they're gonna aim to have him throw in bigger games. Like, but you gotta have your guy going. And even though they did just play a doubleheader on Monday, it's which they I told you about this the other night. After the Mets and Braves doubleheader, they flew out to San Diego. Well, they didn't get into San Diego until 12 o'clock their time, which is 3 o'clock Atlanta time. So they're having to play on short rest, which sucks for them. But at the end of the day, like you got to be able to go out there and still perform. And like who did they throw yesterday? Did they throw a bullpen guy yesterday?
Smith Sauver.
Yeah, yeah.
But dude,
Doing the Braves fans
taking
with wearing the Braves jersey and not knowing, that's on me.
I just want to acknowledge the fact in that game, Michael King, first postseason start.
What a day!
And he's going out there 7 scoreless, only scattering 5 hits, 12 punch-outs, no walks.
That especially against a Braves lineup that even though they have Acuna out, Austin Riley out, like that's still a good lineup. And going out there and doing that in his first ever postseason start, that says something.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like the Padres are going to probably control this a little bit just because of all the guys that are out. But I don't know. Max Fried gets to go tonight for the Braves, so they might get a bounce back win today.
Yeah, and then but the Padres got Joe Musgrove going, which he's been on and off. But I mean, you know what you're going to get from Joe Musgrove, and you still got to go out there and you still got to perform because he's a pitcher. A very high quality pitcher, and he's going to get you through it. But we'll see. I think today's going to be a slugfest, to be honest.
Who knows? You never know.
Who knows what's going to happen? I mean, and back to your point about Chris Sale being healthy. I think this was the first time in a long time that he stayed healthy all year.
I think this is the first season he's completed.
Yeah, which is props to him, and you can see that when he stays healthy, what he can do. And I mean, even when he had those seasons where he wasn't healthy the whole year, he was still going out there, and every time he was starting, like obviously every pitcher we know has a bad start here and there, but like 98% of the time he's going to go out there and he's going to do what he needs to do, which is
yeah.
And then seeing him do it this year was insane. What he did.
Yeah, man. Props to Chris Sale. I think Atlanta is definitely a great fit for him. Because you look back when he was at the White Sox in Boston, he was hurt practically almost every season. And so he gets to Atlanta, they get him healthy, keep him healthy, and he put up crazy numbers.
Yeah.
So for today's slate, I mean, it's the same time slots. You got Tigers, Astros at 1:30, Royals, Orioles at 3:30, Mets, Brewers 6:30, and then Braves, Padres at 7:30. We can just kind of see what our predictions are here. I know the Tigers are starting Tyler Holton, and Astros are starting Hunter Brown.
Should be a good game, hopefully.
Hopefully, yeah.
I'm hoping the Tigers go in and pull it off in 2. And it'll be nice to see what the Tigers can do.
I'm not a huge Astros fan. They knock out the Rangers, so I'm repping the Tigers today.
Yeah,
Hopefully they can get a 2-0, get out of there.
yeah, that'd be nice. It'd be nice to see him do it because tired of seeing the Astros in the postseason. It's time for a new era.
Yeah.
Get the Astros out of there, huh?
Next one is the Orioles. Did the Orioles get back on track, man? They got Zach Eflin on the mound. Royals got Seth Lugo. I don't know. The way the Orioles keep trending in the postseason, I just don't see them sneaking one out.
I want to say that they do, but I mean, once again, like I was talking about earlier, the Royals got hot at the right time, and they just look like the more complete team right now. Because you gotta, for the Orioles, Rutschman's got to get going. He's had a terrible second half of the season. You gotta have Gunnar keep going. You gotta have Cedric Mullins do what he did yesterday, and they gotta play better. Just plain and simple, especially being at home too.
Yeah. I'd watch out for the young bird Jackson Holiday. See if he gets in there and see what happens.
He needs to. They need to perform today. Plain and simple. It's crunch time. It's time to put up or shut up.
And then Brewers Mets. You got Frankie Montez on the mound for the Brewers and Sean. So again, it's just going to come down to pitching, I think, for that game. Who can get the critical hits at the right time?
Yeah, it'll be fun. Then the Braves Padres. You got Max Fried and Joe Musgrove once again. Like you got it. Today's game's got some really good pitching going, and I think that's the storyline is can these offenses perform against high quality pitching? I mean, Max Fried's kind of struggled, and we all know that, but it's postseason. It's postseason time. Everything that happened in the regular season is gone pretty much out the window. Now it's time. It's basically a new season. You got to go out here and flush everything that's happened and see if they can get back on track. Repping the A today, Austin Riley. Shout out to him. But with the Braves lineup, with them not having Acuna and Riley, I think there's like Azuna's got to get going too. He's got to perform. Tatis on the Padre side, you gotta figure out for Max Fried. You got to figure out a way to slow him down, especially with that home run he hit last night. San Diego's on a high right now. They're rolling. Braves just got to figure out how to combat that and slow it down a little bit and play their style of baseball.
Yeah, I mean, 4 great games, like you said. So it's just really who wants to survive in advance or who's just gonna take it to them.
Yeah, and we couldn't have asked for a better wild card round, in my opinion. Like these teams, like they're all like good, and they've all been playing really good. And to see this, if this is what the postseason's gonna look like, we're in for a treat.
Yeah, I agree.
It's gonna be fun to watch, especially one of these young teams like the Tigers or the Royals or the Orioles. Once they start making this run, especially if the Tigers keep doing what they're doing and they go in and it's gonna be fun to watch.
Yeah, I agree.
But so if you had to pick, who is your sleeper team in the postseason that you think that can get past the wild card round, or is it a team that's on a bye right now? Who do you think is your team that is going to make a run for the World Series?
I'd say they're probably the Royals. I know they're playing a tough task against the Orioles right now, and I know the Orioles are struggling in the postseason, but Bobby Witt has got them rolling, He's kind of taken that captain role and it's like, all right, I'm going to carry the team, and we're going to get this. We're just going to get rolling here. So I think the Royals is going to be a team to watch out for in this postseason. I think they can beat just about any team in this league.
It'll be fun to watch for sure. I think my sleeper team. I think it's. I'm kind of torn between three. I can't really give a definite answer. Uh, but mine would either have to be the Mets, the Royals, or the Tigers. Like the Mets are on a hot streak right now. The question is, can they continue that? And obviously, they continued it last night. But can that be something that is sustained in in today's game and going forward in the CS and DS?
Yep. Yep.
Which it'll be fun to watch for sure. The Royals, like you said, are Bobby Witt's kind of carrying that team, and he put it on his back. And with him and the older veterans too, like Salvador Perez, like they got a good squad over there. The Tigers are they're super young and super scrappy. They know what they're doing. AJ Hinch has been there before, so with him with that team, it's like I said earlier, everybody knows their job, and I think they're going to keep doing it.
Yeah. Yeah.
The I don't know if you saw this, but the World Series odds as of yesterday came out, or obviously it's been out, but the odds to win the World Series or win it would be the Dodgers are at plus 360, the Yankees are at plus 425, the Phillies are plus 475, Astros are plus 800, which could probably changed after yesterday. The Guardians are plus 950, which we haven't talked about the Guardians a lot. The Padres are plus 1,000, Orioles are plus 1,100, Brewers are plus 1,800, Braves plus 1,900, Mets plus 2,000, Royals plus 2,500, then the Tigers plus 2,800. Obviously, I think after yesterday, those numbers probably changed. Here, I'll look it up while we're on that topic. But if who do you think is going to be that team that obviously, like the Tigers probably bumped up a little bit here. It just pulled up. Let me look. Yeah, so the Brewers dropped down to plus 3,500. The Braves went down to plus 3,500. Orioles are at plus 2,200. Tigers are at 1,600 plus 1,600. Astros are at plus 1,500. Royals are at plus 1,400. The Mets are at plus 1,300, and then pretty much everybody else has stayed the same. But that's if you had to pick who you think who is your World Series champion this year.
You know, from a fan's perspective, I want to go Philly. You know, they've done it year in, year out. Bryce Harper's done a phenomenal job there. Trey Turner kind of picked it up towards the end. Kyle Schwarber's a great leadoff. I think they have the pitching staff. And so I would love to see Philadelphia win it.
Bring it back to Philly. That'd be nice. Like Trey Turner, he was in a slump for a while, but nobody's lost faith in Trey Turner. You know what you're going to get from him, and he's just one of those guys that in big moments in postseason play he's gonna turn it up. Bryce Harper's been doing Bryce Harper things, bringing that swagger to the diamond like he always does.
Oh yeah.
But I think nobody's talking about the Guardians. like Jose Ramirez, he was one. I think he was one home run short of going 40 for 40 this year, and like nobody's talking about it, and it just kind of is like why? Like the Guardians are not some slouch of a team, and we're just sitting here like, oh yeah, the Dodgers and the Phillies and the Yankees, and it's where do the Guardians play in that?
I think it's just they're a very scrappy team, so they just kind of fly under that radar.
They're another Detroit.
Yeah, could be. They could be a sneaky team in there, like because I know they're going to be matched up with the Yankees after or in the NLCS or ALCS, and so
This guy, yeah.
that's crazy. That's crazy.
This guy getting the leagues mixed up, huh?
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm I I don't know. Do I think the Dodgers could win it? Yeah. I mean, they're always going to be that team that that Shohei is just going to do Shohei things and just be a monster. Uh,
That lineup,
but
man.
isn't this the first time we've seen Shohei in postseason play? Or am I
Yeah.
am I tripping? I think I might be tripping.
Because he was with them last year.
Yeah, but I can't remember what he did last year. But
I don't think he was putting the numbers up he did this year.
no, I don't know. I like. Don't get me wrong, but like it would be awesome to continue to see what he can do and see how far he really can get. Uh, but man,
That
Wait,
lineup
like
is just a
he's
gauntlet.
just he's just a dog, and then you got Mookie behind him, and it's just like that lineup is so stout, and like how do you go in and be like, yeah, we're gonna beat the Dodgers today? Hey, the Cubs did it though. The Cubs can beat, but Cubs beat them in the regular season. Almost, I think in the Cubs were making a push for it when they did. It was they won 2 out of 3 games in LA. So, that's going in LA and beating the Dodgers is especially being a team that, has kind of gotten written off in the past about for postseason play this year, but
Yeah.
when they can do it, anybody can do it, right? Any given day anybody can lose. So,
It would be very hard to see the Dodgers lose just because of how stout that offense is.
I agree. I agree 100%. It's going to be tough, but I think the two NL teams this year are going to be. I think it's going to be the Dodgers and the Phillies. Winner of that will go to the World Series, and then in the AL, I think in the AL it's going to be different this year. I think it's going to be. Obviously, we have to look at the bracket. So, let me before I make that pick. Let me look at the schedule because I don't want to be wrong to our viewers out there. Playoff schedule.
For me, I have, with my sleeper pick here, I have the Royals and Guardians.
That's going to determine who goes to the World Series for you.
I think so. I think the Royals are just playing good fundamental baseball. I think they're going to beat the O's today. I think they're just going to outslug, or not slug, but I think they're going to out-hit the Yankees and get more runs. I don't think they're going to outslug them. But
Yeah.
I think they're just going to be that sleeper team. They're going to pull either a Texas season last year or an Arizona team.
So this is going to be my off the wall hot take, and just see like hoping that this is what it is. I think I would love to see the Royals and the Tigers playing in the CS. That would be one series that I feel like that's just going to be a dominant game. Like, not dominant, but it's going to be a fun. Those are going to be fun games to watch if that were to happen. But realistically, I think that it's going to be. I think it's going to be the Royals and the Guardians playing in the CS. The
I
Yankees,
just
I
find it
don't think.
funny. I'm on your Royals and Guardians thing. I think it's funny how the AL Central used to be one of the worst divisions, and now there's three teams in the postseason this year.
Oh yeah, that's insane. It's especially because last year the AL Central was terrible to watch. And I mean, I'm sorry for all those White Sox fans out there, but I'm not sorry because go Cubs. But um, the White Sox were terrible, and the I know this is gonna not gonna be a popular pick with our other co-host Dylan, but the Yankees, no, I don't think they're not gonna do it this year. They every postseason the Yankees find some way to be a Yankee and just absolutely just drop the ball and and you know what? I'm not sorry about it because the Yankees they bring Aaron Judge is an amazing player and he's definitely going to win AL MVP again. But I just they bring they bring in everybody and I don't think I don't think they find a way to do it this year. And it'll be back to the drawing board on how do we get the Yankees back into playing for a World Series. But I mean they played really good ball this year with the addition of Jazz Chisholm, which I liked that move. I think it was very they needed one more key piece, and I think he brings a lot to the table. Cause yeah, I mean Aaron Judge, like what how many home runs he hit in the past like week and a half? I think he went on like 5 straight games with a home run, and I mean he's you know what you're going to get from him, and I guess the question is how are teams going to start trying to pitch around him, especially in postseason play. But I think we're in for a treat this year for sure with MLB postseason play. I think all these teams are very well deserving of this opportunity. I
Yeah,
just I think the World Series is going to be. I'm gonna go with it since we haven't talked about it much. I think the Guardians get back to the World Series, and then I think it's gonna be a Philly and Cleveland World Series this year with the Phillies coming out on top. I think I don't know with Dylan's over here texting us saying that yeah, we know Juan Soto came in too and he's been a great addition and takes all the pressure of good old Big Aaron over there. But they're good. I'm not saying they're not, but we we haven't seen we haven't seen the Yankees make it past the first round of the playoffs in how long? Because they always decide to, oh, let's just drop the ball on this one, huh? It'll be fun to watch for sure. Let's see. Excuse me. It'll be it'll be fun.
Oh, perfect. ESPN just posted us that Framber Valdez is 0-4 with an 8.27 ERA. Opponents are batting 361 against him.
That you can't have that in postseason play. Oh man, that's when do you say as a player and as a team that like okay enough is enough, like we can't have you keep doing this.
I don't know. Either that, or you move into the bullpen.
Which it could be a move for him. I mean, especially like because during the regular season he threw pretty well for him, but in postseason play it's different. So maybe he moves to the bullpen and is more of a long relief guy because then you can get some good innings.
Yeah.
I think let's let's finish this up with who do you think Rookie of the Year is going to be, JP?
I said it at the very beginning that Wyatt Langford was going to take it from the Rangers, but he was definitely huge in a lot of key games. But I don't know, man. It was definitely a lot of different players this year. I don't have like a specific one.
I think in the NL, it's between Jackson Merrill and Paul Skeens.
Yeah.
Jackson Merrill's been tearing it up. Paul Skeens is Paul Skeens. Like if you watch baseball, you know like what Paul Skeens has been doing. Um, but you just can't. Paul Skeens is just. I think it's Paul. I think he's gonna win Rookie of the Year just because of what he has done and
Yeah.
going out there and I mean he's good. He's really good. And not saying Jackson Merrill's not, but it'd be fun. It'd be fun to see Paul Skeens do it.
I bet he does win it, just because you don't. He was breaking records after like 5 starts, so
Yeah.
it's just like, yeah.
And, hey, I don't, dude. It's who do you think? Who do you think's gonna get in the AL?
You know, I think it's gonna be my buddy from the O's, Krauser.
I agree.
He had a phenomenal year for the O's. He just kept tacking on each
Yeah.
month.
Yeah.
So,
Who do you think? Who do you think wins MVP? You think it's Shohei and Aaron again?
I think it's almost undisputable. Shohei wins it.
I agree.
I mean,
You
he's
just,
in a whole different category.
You can't deny what he's doing.
No, I mean, he's what, 59 stolen bases, 57 home runs. Like, he's about to hit a new category of 60-60, or was close.
Dude, like what are you supposed to like? We're watching something that has never been done, and it's fun to watch.
Yeah, if he can just stay clean, I think he's already punched his ticket into the Hall of Fame, in my opinion.
Oh, in my opinion, yeah. It he's just been good every single year. And here's a hot take for you. I think he should just be a hitter. I don't think he should go back to being a pitcher. Not saying he wasn't good pitching, but he is definitely more of a hitter than he is a pitcher because he can play every day.
Yep.
And I like watching Shohei hit. Not saying I don't like him pitch because he's phenomenal at it, but he's, in my opinion, he should be a hitter and just be a position guy, and then rock with that. Obviously, what do you think about Cy Young? Obviously, I think it's gonna be Chris Sale and Tarek Skubal.
I mean, it's almost guaranteed, I would think.
Yeah,
That it's Skubal and Sale.
They've definitely been the favorites, especially with winning the Triple Crown. Like it's a given, But yeah, MLB's been fun to watch, especially this postseason so far. And we're 20 minutes away from first pitch for the Tigers game, so it'll be fun to watch. It'll be
Definitely
be
take a look into those games. Definitely talk about it tomorrow.
Yeah.
See who advances and who survives.
What do you have any final thoughts? Because mine is
No, I don't.
my yesterday the road teams in the wild card. Every road team except the Braves won their game yesterday. And going into a hostile environment, not hostile, but like a very tough environment to play in on the road in postseason play, and every road team coming out with a win except for the Braves is kind of impressive.
It just shows you who was locked in that day, I guess.
Yeah. See if the Braves can even it up tonight. I it'll be a good game for sure. We'll just have to see how Max Fried pitches. I think
Yep.
if he's on and he sets the tone, and it'll be the Braves. But if he comes out flat and isn't not necessarily not ready to pitch, but has the same Max Fried of how he was during the regular season, I think the Padres will win it.
Yeah.
Because the Padres are just, you got Luis Ariz over there who just cannot get out, and it's honestly like nobody talks about it, and it's just he's good. He's a good ball player.
Yeah. So
Anything else you would like to add?
no, just gotta let the games play out here.
It'll be fun. Well, I'll definitely be watching. I know you got stuff to do today, so we'll wrap it up. Thank you guys for watching. We'll be back tomorrow talking about more wild card action. Dylan will be joining us. As of right now, it's set that he's going to be joining us every Tuesday and Saturday whenever he can. He'll join us every so often with MLB Talk, and we'll keep going from there. Make sure you guys drop a like and a subscribe. Thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll see you guys tomorrow.
See y'all.
See ya.